Hi everyone, Kim Ware here. This is the second live event, so 2 of 2 for COM 115, and this is your crash course in public speaking. Before I get there, I'd like to take just a few minutes to go over the next 3 assignments that you have due before we round out this course on February 11th. So I'm going to share my screen. So this is assignment number 4 that's coming up. It's due on January 31st, which is not this weekend, but next weekend, if I'm correct. And this is a really fun assignment because you're taking a look at friendships in different seasons of life. So it's really important that you make sure, just as you've done in assignments 2 and 3, that you use specific examples, that you use concepts, and that you elaborate on both of those things. If you need any help, if you'll notice near the end, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor on my shared screen or not, but there is a study guide that you can use for this assignment that lists all the different concepts that are possible for this assignment. Also keep in mind that this is a 3-question assignment and each question needs to have at least 100 words. If you're not sure how many words you have, you can do your answers in a Word document and you can actually get that word count. So it should be a very solid paragraph, perhaps 2, for this 3-prong written assignment. So that's assignment 4, again, due on January 31st. Then we're gonna bump over to assignment number 5, and hopefully you're still seeing what I'm seeing. This is an interview assignment. You're going to want to get started on this assignment just a little bit earlier. There are 2 sets of questions that are identical. In each set, you need to interview someone different. The first set is supposed to be a family member or a friend, and the second is a work colleague. If you're struggling to find matches for any of those things, just let me know and I can help you and give you some direction in that way. It is not intended to be an assignment that's a burden to you, but to help you see the nuances of the concepts we're covering towards the end of the course in application to family life and workplace life. Again, this assignment is worth 125 points. It's a little bit lengthy. It has 3 large sections, so make sure you tackle that or at least take a look at it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help. And finally, let's look at the reflection assignment that's going to be due on the Tuesday before the course closes. So this is going to be a great time for you to maybe flex some of those muscles in public speaking that you're going to learn about here. But don't worry, I'm not grading you on your talent at all. I'm grading you on your ability just to answer these 3 questions. It should not be a video that's any longer than 2 to 3 minutes. You should answer the 3 questions, what you hope to accomplish if you're talking to yourself 10 years from now, talk about skills you've learned, and the 3 pieces of advice. Again, all the exact questions are there. You're going to record it on Studio and submit it. If you have another way that you prefer to record video entries, just let me know. Again, happy to work with you. I just want to see you do the assignment. This assignment is a really easy 50 points. You're just talking. That's all you're doing. So hopefully that gives you a trajectory of where we're going from middle of the course to the end of the course as we start to look towards that finish line. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen, and now I'm going to move to a new screen for our crash course in public speaking. All right, here we go. Okay, so when you think about public speaking, if we were all together right now, we would be talking about in a chat, what's your biggest fear with public speaking? Believe it or not, public speaking is one of the top stressors for many people, and most people are not interested in public speaking at all. Even people who are well versed in like things like the theater don't care for public speaking because it kind of showcases them rather than the character that they're portraying. Some people are afraid they're going to say the wrong thing, that they're going to lose their train of thought, that people are staring at them and judging them. And it's just all around not a very fun feeling to have to speak publicly when you feel afraid or scared. But have no fear. I'm going to teach you in the next few minutes how to talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere. So let's answer that big question. But why? Why would we want to learn such a scary thing when the reality is most of us are probably not going to be on a big stage speaking anytime soon to hundreds of people? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's the why. In each of your professional lives, you are going to have to talk to somebody. You're going to have to present information to someone. So whether you're speaking and giving information on a very small scale in an interpersonal situation, or say, for example, you have to give a presentation to a group of colleagues or a group of lawyers, or you're teaching other instructors in the gym the concepts that you want your gym to be like. That's why I'm going to give you some tools to help you to do that so you can leave this class feeling more confident. Also, most collegiate programs force you to take a communication course somewhere, and one of those options is public speaking. So this is my way of helping get you that little bit of public speaking experience in the absence of having to take an entire course. And then you get to practice when you do your reflection. So I think it fits together pretty nicely. So today I'm going to teach you warm-ups. I'm going to teach you the tell them adage, and I'm going to teach you about your body language and posture. So let's get started first with warm-ups. When you think of warm-ups, you may think of this. I love the 80s. It's no secret. If you can tell by some of the things that I post in Yellow Dig or some of the other things that I shared, the 80s were awesome, and I would go back to big hair in an instant and blue eyeshadow. That aside, let me talk about what is really involved in warm-ups, not the 80s. We're going to talk about the breath or breathe, the face, and the body. So oftentimes when we're afraid, we get that nervous response of sweaty palms, a nervous stomach, the jitters, and all of my fitness people will know that that is a chemical response in your body that is telling you to calm down. And that is energy. And warm-ups will help you express that energy so that when you go to speak, some of it's burned off. So first, breathing. You can really calm your mind down with just taking some nice deep breaths for about 10 seconds. So you can just count in, try to get to 10, and breathe out. Make sure you're filling up the entire diaphragm and that your breath isn't coming from your chest. We don't want to be breathing with our chest going and doing a bunch of shoulder action. We actually want to be breathing from our stomachs and filling up our diaphragm like a balloon. So breathe in and breathe out. And really feel your ribs expand and contract. Now, where might you do this breathing, face work, and body work? What do you do if you're in an office building? Where can you go? The bathroom or the car is your very best friend. You can go into the bathroom by yourself, shut the stall, and have just a few minutes to collect yourself. If you have the ability to get into your car, that's a great place you can go to. So you can, well, right now it's freezing cold in Colorado. Actually, it's not too bad today, but it has been quite cold. I will go in the car and turn on my heater. If you're in a desert location like Arizona or Florida or Georgia or any of those places, ramp up that AC and get your breath on. Moving on, so we've talked about breath, we've talked about the wear. Let's talk about the face. Your face is like one big muscle, so is your tongue and your lips, and you can help your face get warmed up in order to speak. This is going to help you keep from getting tongue-tied, and the way you can do that is by, you can actually just massage your face and get into your temples, work along your brow bone, really get into like your chin and your cheeks. You can start moving those lips around. If you're laughing at me right now, it's totally okay. I would be laughing at me too. You can warm up your tongue by blowing air through it. Then you can add sound. You can work through the different registers of your voice. You can do the same thing with your lips and with sound. Also, pick up those favorite tongue twisters from childhood. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, etc. Some of my favorites are red leather, yellow leather, and I like blue bugs bleed black blood, black bugs bleed blue blood. You will also start getting that saliva going if you have dry mouth. If you'd like to see what those are and you're more of a visual learner, let me know. I'm happy to type them out. Now, the body, doing simple things with your body is as important as the breath and the face. You have this extra energy, so you got to figure out a way to expend it. One way to do that is to roll your shoulders forward and backwards, take them up to your ears and down. You can do some twisting motions. You can roll down like a rag doll to your toes or your knees, wherever you can reach, and then just roll slowly up your vertebrae, incorporating that breath at the same time. A couple jumping jacks, maybe some running in place. You can stretch, whatever's most comfortable to you, as long as you are helping your body expand. Speaking order that you can use to help organize your thoughts.
Okay.
So this is called the tell them adage. And what that is you tell them what you're going to tell them. You tell them, and then you remind your audience what you told them. This is a great tool for you because it helps you organize your thoughts and it helps your audience track with you. People generally have about an 18-minute window where they can focus and then they zone out. So about every 18 minutes, you got to do something as the speaker to remind them where you are and to reel them back in.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say I'm going to give you a presentation on this beautiful pair of scissors. Okay. So I might, and this works very well off the cuff. If someone asks you a question and you do know the answer, and it's okay to say, I don't know the answer, let me go find out. But if you do, this is a great way to very quickly organize yourself. So say, I'm so glad you asked. Today, I'm going to tell you about this beautiful pair of scissors. I'm going to explain to you why it's perfect for your hand holding. I'm going to show you why it's super sharp. And then I'm going to explain to you the proper way to store your scissors.
Okay.
So then I would go on and I would tell you those things, but I would use that same phrasing throughout the body of my speech. So let's get to my first point, telling you why it's a great hand-holding device. Then I would talk about that, and then I would get to my second point. Now let me show you why it's super sharp. And then talk. Finally, I'm going to show you the proper way to store your scissors. And then I would conclude by saying, awesome, I'm so glad I got to tell you about the hand holding, the sharpness, and how to store your scissors. And then maybe I would give a call to action or ask if there's any questions of the audience member. Now, I had not planned to do any speaking about my scissors just then, but I saw them on the floor and I was able to organize myself because I had to say it 3 times, which also helps your audience track with you because now they've heard it not once, not twice, but 3 times what it is that you're going to talk to them about.
Okay.
Yeah?
Interesting. I love public speaking. I really do.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Not everybody does. So it takes a special type, I think, to really love it. I do too, but I'm a teacher. I like to stand in front of a group and talk. So actually, okay, so let me go ahead and talk about gestures. So that's the other thing. When you're speaking with people, your gestures mean a lot because as we've learned in this class, right, we're not only paying attention to verbal communication, We're paying attention
Mm-hmm.
to body language, learning how to read people. So I
Mm-hmm.
posted this picture. What do you think are the different interpretations of what's happening? You think?
It looks like as if she is from the body gesture that she's kind of like not happy camper, and he looked like he's listening and trying to explain to her whatever she's upset about.
Very
That's
good.
what.
Yeah, that's great because we see her pointed finger. We see that her mouth is open, kind of big. She could be yelling. And then her body language is closed in, which is like a defensive posture. And he's got
Uh-huh.
his hand open, so that listening is a really great interpretation of this. Because and also it seems to me like his shoulders are back. He's more open than she is. So we see that gestures play a huge role in public speaking. So a couple things about gestures when you are the one doing public speaking. So if you are in front of a group, let's say you're in front of a large crowd, and I talked earlier about that nervousness that you get, and that's energy that your body is emitting that says, calm down. And it also
Right.
can show that you care about something, because we tend to get a little nervous if we're going to talk about something that's important to us or that's
Right.
exciting to us. So one of the things that you can do
Mm-hmm.
is if you're in front of a big group, you can, I don't know, can you see my body okay?
I can. I see you perfectly.
Okay, good. So if I'm in front of a big group, I can stand in the middle and I can talk a little bit. I'm going to keep my body language
Mm-hmm.
open, and I'm going to let my arms extend a little bit, because that shows confidence, even if I feel so not confident in my
Okay.
stomach. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say I might get my introduction here. I'm feeling a little wobbly, but I don't want to sway my body. I could walk this way. I could give my next point or two. Then I could casually walk back to the other way, give a point, and then end back in the center. So also that dynamic movement, not too shifty, allows your audience also to have something else to look at besides just you standing here speaking to them.
Okay.
Okay, so we want to try to avoid swaying and moving, but be concrete in our movement so that we aren't distracting our audience.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I'm gonna have to practice that.
Yeah, I bet you will. I can see that. So let's see here. Okay, so then what I want to conclude with saying is that if you're ever asked to speak on a topic, at this point in your life, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be asked to speak about something that you don't know anything about.
Okay.
If you're asked to speak about something, whether it's a small group or a large group, it's probably because you have that expert or legitimate knowledge of something, and you have information that people want. So sometimes people are nervous about public speaking because people are staring at them. But it's important to remember that they're not really staring at you. If you're asked to speak somewhere, you have information they want, and that's why they're there. They want what you have to say.
Okay.
They don't want what you look like. So we can keep in mind first impressions, and of course you want to dress appropriately for the occasion, but always bearing in mind that feeling nervous about people looking at us is probably not the most important thing. The nervousness is probably going to come because you care. Because you're in front of a group of people, and remembering that you have something that they want. So you can stand firm in that and feel confident in that.
Okay, got that.
Okay, so that's all I have. Do you have any questions right now before I take us off the recording that would want?
No, other than I got to catch up on my learnings.
Those learnings, I tell you.
I'm gonna have them, caught up by Sunday.
Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording.